The Book of Tokens, Tarot Meditations by Paul Foster Case. Preface. These unusual and beautiful Kabbalistic meditations were inspirationally written by the recognized world authority on tarot and Kabbalah, Dr. Paul Foster Case. Because of having attained both inner and outer initiation into the most advanced grades of adeptship in the Western mystery training system, he was able to attune his consciousness to the highest spiritual levels, as is evidenced by the text. It is profitable to read the meditations aloud. They are written in the first person, hence this practice gives them a potent autosuggestive influence for counteracting negative patterns in subconsciousness. Moreover, even a casual survey of the text shows it to be the self-declaration of the divine spirit in man. To read it aloud is, in a measure, to participate in the illumination of the sage through whose mind the life power formulated its self-expression in these stirring phrases. The meditations in this book include the occult meaning of the 22 Hebrew letters, illustrated by the 22 major tarot keys, which correspond thereto. The tarot keys represent the symbolic powers of consciousness in pictorial form, used by initiates for the transmutation of personality and the attainment of union with God. Comment has been reduced to such explanation as seems required to make certain Kabbalistic terms ineligible to the uninitiated. Sections of the comment are numbered the same as the sections of the text. Dr. Paul Foster Case founded Builders of the Adytum, a non-profit organization, in order to assure the survival and extension of the Hermetic sciences, which the adepts who had gone before him placed in his care. The modesty of this great soul is revealed by the fact that he rarely thought to put his signature to the voluminous writings and lessons on ageless wisdom, which he left to posterity in the care of Builders of the Adytum. Dr. Case entered into his life's work at a very early age due to his recall of past lives as a Kabbalistic initiate and adept. His mission to translate, enlarge, and extend thereto secret techniques of tarot and Kabbalah, esoteric teachings of the ageless wisdom, into terms understandable to and usable by the modern mind, to assure that this and coming generations would have available the timeless methods of initiation in the Western occult tradition, which leads to spiritual and psychological integration, unfoldment, and illumination. Paul Foster Case came into incarnation in order to feel a great spiritual need for the modern world. His unique and effective contribution to the spiritual path of return being completed, he withdrew from his physical vehicle on March 2nd, 1954. It is our profound privilege and grave responsibility to carry on the great work which Dr. Case left in our care. Prologos. Hearken, O Israel, unto my voice, and give ear to mine instruction. My word shall go before thee, as a pillar of fire by night, and as a pillar of cloud shalt thou follow it by day. Turn not aside nor faint, and it shall lead thee to a land of plenty, flowing with the milk of life eternal, and the honey of unblemished wisdom. The Fool, 0 or 22. The meditation on Aleph, spelt A-L-E-P-H. I am without beginning, without end, older than night or day, younger than the babe newborn, brighter than light, darker than darkness, beyond all things and creatures, yet fixed in the heart of everyone. From me the shining worlds flow forth, to me all at last return, yet to me neither men nor angels may draw nigh. for I am known only to myself. Ever the same is mine inmost being, absolutely one, complete, whole, perfect, always itself, eternal, infinite, ultimate, formless, indivisible, changeless. Of all existences, I am the source, the continuation and the end. I am the germ, I am the growth, I am the decay. All things and creatures I send forth, I support them while yet they stand without. And when the dream of separation ends, I cause their return unto myself. I am the life and the will of the law, and the way that leadeth to the beyond. There is none else. I am the fire of mind, which divideth itself into the superior and inferior natures, and putteth on a robe of flesh to come down. I am the vital principle of all that is. Nothing is that does not live, and of that life I am the source. As it is written, first the stone, then the plant, then the animal, and then the man. But before the stone I am the fire, distributed equally in space, nowhere absent, filling all, and before the fire, hidden within it, I am the pure knowing, whence all forms flow forth. Apart from me, there is neither wisdom, nor knowledge, nor understanding. Into every state of knowledge do I enter, into false knowledge as well as into true, so that I am not less the ignorance of the deluded than the wisdom of the sage. For what thou callest ignorance and folly is my pure knowing, imperfectly expressed through an uncompleted image of my divine perfection. Woe unto them who condemn these my works unfinished. Behold, they who presume to judge are themselves incomplete. Through many a fiery trial of sorrow must they pass, ere the clear beauty of my wisdom may shine from out their hearts, like unto a light burning in a lamp of alabaster. I am the doer of all. Nothing moveth but by my power. Mine is the healing influence flowing down from consecrated hands, mine the venom of the adder's fang. Nothing falleth but by me, and in whatsoever riseth, mine is the power that lifteth up. My presence is the substance of all things. I am the virgin snow on mountain heights. I am the fruitful loam in valley depths. I am the gold and silver of the temple vessels. I am the mire on sandals left by the faithful at the temple gate. See me and regard me equally in all, O Israel, and thou shalt see indeed. For seeing thus shalt thou see too that nothing is or can be my antagonist. All, and in all shall I fight myself. What hath power to limit or defeat the very source of power? Know then that all the sense of conflict is but the shadow play of ignorance. Wait with patience on me, thy Lord, and in my appointed time will I make clear what now is dark, and show before thee straight and true a path of safety, in the very place where now an abyss of terror seems to open at thy feet. I am the beginning of all beginnings, checked by neither time nor space, held by no bounds of name or form, present everywhere, centering the full perfection of mine exhaustless power. I am thy Lord, O Israel, and Lord of countless hosts. Seek me in the holy of holies, in the heart of the true temple, on the holy mountain. Behold, I am with thee always, and I never sleep. I am the height above all heights. My descent reacheth likewise below all depths. Yet I am poised forever between height and depth. In perfect balance, consider me under the aspect of Aleph. There shalt thou find both height and depth, and the path also which joineth them for descent and return. Aleph in truth am I, the ox of solar fire, whose radiance lighteth all the world, whose life breath ebbeth and floweth in creatures great and small, whose power taketh form in all the acts of men, of beasts, of plants. ye, and of things which seem inanimate as well. Aleph am I, the patient burden bearer, strong to carry the heavy load of the manifest. Aleph am I, the eternal worker, by whose might all fields are tilled, and from whose life all seeds derive their growth and increase. Aleph am I, the first and the root. From mine unfathomable will, the universe hath its beginning. In my boundless wisdom are the types and patterns of all things. Before all worlds I was, in all worlds I am. And when all worlds are but a memory, I shall be. Comment on Aleph. Aleph, pronounced a-leaf, transcribed as a or a, the number 1, meaning ox, the fiery intelligence. Throughout this text, the proper name Israel should be understood as applying to the spiritual Israel. This name means he shall rule as God, and thus the text is addressed to all who, by identifying themselves with the divine will, become unobstructed channels for its expression. Thus they truly live the divine life and consequently share in the divine rulership. To me, neither men nor angels may draw nigh. Nothing conscious of separateness can approach the reality of the Absolute. When all at last return to the One, the differences that constitute various classes, such as plants, animals, men, and angels, will vanish. I am the vital principle of all that is. This is a reference to the attribution of Ruach to the letter Aleph. The Hebrew Ruach is analogous to Sanskrit prana, Greek pneuma, and Latin spiritus. Every one of these words means breath, and every one means life. The meditation says emphatically that this life breath animates even those forms which are commonly regarded as being lifeless. Comments on Aleph. The phrase, "my works unfinished," is a key to the whole philosophy of good and evil. Running through these meditations in the thought of the author, we live in a dynamic, growing organism, which we call the universe. The purpose for which that organism has been projected into relative manifestation is not yet fully achieved. It is not a finished mechanism, a thing made, once and for all. Rather, it is a living being whose life includes innumerable lesser lives and lesser degrees of knowledge. The Magician, number 1. The meditation on Beth, spelt B-E-T-H. One and one only am I in essence, changeless, indivisible, concealing within my being the 10 lights of divine emanation. In this mine unalterable unity am I supreme, and none is equal unto me. Yet though I myself remain unchanged throughout eternity, my power doth manifest itself in ceaseless change. They err who speak of my changelessness in essence as if it were fixity in operation. That which changeth not is mine own nature, but this includeth the possibility of infinite diversity in ways and works. For the uninstructed, this is a stumbling block. Confused by words of double meaning, they perceive not that this, mine immutable nature, is in essence whose first ground is life, and not mere being. Thou knowest me not, O Israel. If thou regardest me only as he who is, they know me indeed who know that I am he who liveth. I am life itself, and without mind there is no life. I am the essence of mind, and the essence of mind is will. Of my will, all created wills are but reflections, and the essence of that will, what is it but desire? I am life external, and I am the internal longing for manifestation. because of which I bring forth the shining worlds. For this do I divide myself, becoming two. Of these two, the first is the crown of my primal will. This, my superior nature, standeth above the world, which floweth forth from mine active knowing, yet even the superior nature is to mine inmost essence as something outside, and therefore is it to me as Beth, my house, for I am within it, and it is an emanation from me. Nevertheless, I feel my dwelling place. Hence it is written that the Supreme is distinguished from the crown by name only. In my supreme abode stand I as the onlooker. Because of mine unwavering contemplation, the stream of manifestation continueth on its course. Whatsoever existeth hath its beginning in my will, continueth in my will, and by my will cometh at last to its appointed end. Then this, indeed, there is no other will in all the universe, yet in it do all creatures have a part. From my substance all things derive their substance, and all that hath form is built from my fourfold elemental manifestation. Four are the subtle principles which the wise conceal from the uninitiate by the names fire, water, air, and earth. In endless variety of mixture and proportion directed by my will, these mingle together for the production of forms. They are transmutations of a single essence, and from their mingling are brought forth all things. Watching thus the multiplicity of existences, proceeding from my single essence, I understand them in all their relations. I perceived that their beginning, middle, and end is in truth myself. Thus do I see that all things, whatsoever their appearance, because they spring from mine own nature, are grounded in goodness. My superior nature is reflected also in the mind of man, created in mine image. Know me thus as the source of all true will. Know me also as the power to perceive objects as having the appearance of standing outside and apart from him who regardeth them. That in thee which so perceiveth objects, which giveth the power to distinguish between them, which revealeth them unto thee in their relations to each other and to thyself, and enableth thee to search out the laws of their reciprocal action. Know this to be identical with my superior nature. Wherever this power acteth, whether in low forms or in high, I only am its source, and I the knower. Not thine, but mine, is the power of attention, of observation, of discovery, of the discerning of sequence in the operation of nature. In all this, and in the power of discrimination, my superior nature worketh through thee. Happy art thou if thou canst grasp this truth. For then understanding that not thy weak self, but my all-knowing mind looketh out upon the world through thine eyes, shalt thou have faith to let me see. Then shalt thou overcome the evil of thy senses by devoting them wholly to my use. Not thou, but I, shall then discern the weight and shape and texture of the things thou touchest. Not shine, but mine, shall be the knowledge of scent and savor, gained through nose and tongue. And when I use thine ears for hearing, thou shalt be attuned to sweetest harmonies, where now they are assailed by strident discord. So shalt thou become a partaker in the bliss of mine experience of thy universe. A joy unknown to those of unperfected soul, whose time of realization is not yet at hand. Comment on Beth. Beth, pronounced Baeth, transcribed as B, the number 2, meaning house, the transparent intelligence. The 10 lights are the 10 Sephiroth, represented by the circles on the diagram of the Tree of Life, used as a frontispiece in this volume. Their names are 1. Kether, the crown or primal will. 2. Chokmah, wisdom. 3. Binah, understanding. 4. Chest, mercy. 5. Jabura, strength or severity. 6. Tifereth, beauty. 7. Netzach, victory. 8. Hod, splendor. 9. Yesod, foundation. 10. Malkuth, kingdom. The 2nd, 4th, and 7th Sephiroth form the pillar of mercy, named after the 4th Sephirah, opposed to them, yet their complements are the 3rd, 5th, and 8th Sephiroth, which from the pillar of severity, named after the 5th Sephirah, the middle pillar, composed of the 1st, 6th, 9th, and 10th Sephiroth, is named the pillar of mildness. The 10th Sephiroth are also divided into a supernal triad, which includes the first 3, and a heptad, which includes the Sephiroth from chest to Malkuth. This heptad is the basis for many septenary schemes to be found in the literature of occultism. Yet always behind the 7 and beyond it is a supernal triad, for as the book of formation tells us, the lights of emanation are 10 and not 9, 10 and not 11, that is, neither more nor less than 10. I am the eternal longing. This is an example of the author's use of gematria, the Kabbalistic method of establishing identities of meaning between words of the same number. Each Hebrew letter is also a number. The number of a word is the sum of the numeral value of its letters. The Hebrew for longing is tahava, thav, and the number of this word is 412, equivalent that of the letter name Be'eth, Be'eth. The innermost essence mentioned in this paragraph is En Sof Ar, Ansavar, the limitless light in the philosophy of Kabbalah. En Sof Ar is held to subset throughout eternity and is regarded as being that which precedes all manifestation. Hence, although Kether, the crown or primal will, is the first among the lights of emanation, it is secondary in the order of thought to the limitless light. Therefore, Kether is here compared to a house for that light, and as house is the name of the second letter, which also has the value of 2. The Kabbalistic ideas just explained are truly represented by the letter and its number. These 2 sections of the meditation should be compared with the symbolism of the first tarot key, 5 and 6. The magician is obviously the onlooker, and he corresponds to the superior nature. The 4 subtle principles mentioned in the 6th section are also shown in the symbolism of this key. As the implements on the table, the wand is the element of fire. The cup stands for the element of water. The sword is a symbol of air. The coin or pentacle represents the element of earth. Note well that the text says, "The wise conceal the true principles under the names of the elements of ancient physics." The High Priestess, number 2. The Meditation on Gimel. Thou hast seen, O Israel, how far the sake of creation, the one life that I am seemeth to divide itself, becoming 2. Of these 2 I have made known to thee my superior nature, the crown of primal will, wherein I have my supreme abode. Hearken now while I expound the mystery of mine inferior nature, which standeth in the tree of life as the Sephirah of wisdom. Forget not that these 2, though they be named superior and inferior, are in truth of equal rank. As it is written, that which is below is as that which is above, and that which is above is as that which is below. Be thou not led astray by their false doctrine, who ascribe to the inferior nature somewhat less of power and worth than inhereth in the superior. The 2 are as the pans of a balance. Each hath its own peculiar quality. Each hath its appointed sphere of operation. One cometh not before the other, but together they exist, from everlasting to everlasting. Mine inferior nature is the universal substance, the divine mirror, wherein I, who dwell at the heart of all things, am reflected to myself. To the uninstructed, therefore, who mistake the reflection for that which is reflected, my secondary nature seemeth to be more interior than the primal will. This error may be likened to the illusion which ariseth when one seeth a room reflected in a glass, and thinketh he seeth the room itself. For though what presenteth itself in the mirror of wisdom is eternal, the medium of reflection hath its place in the without, in the realm of secondary and created things, as the substance whence all forms arise. The vehicle of my divine essence, mine inferior nature, is to the superior. As is passive to active, as woman to man, as Eve to Adam, yet to every light of emanation proceeding from it on the tree of life, doth this same wisdom stand as root and source. Hence in the scripture is wisdom spoken of as a woman, as when it is said, wisdom hath builded her a house. But elsewhere to this same wisdom, the wise assign the title Ab, the Father. Never is the heavenly wisdom known as Mother, for she is the virgin substance of all things, whose purity naught can defile. Remember now that I myself am the pure knowing whence all manifestation ariseth. Recall to mind that my superior nature is the primal will, the eternal watcher, under whose regard the stream of creation floweth. The substance of the stream is the inferior nature, wherein I see innumerable images of myself. These be all things and creatures, great and small. Whatever existeth is as a ripple on the surface of the stream, but all are of the one substance. Thus all share in the peculiar quality of the stream itself, which is the mirror of myself to myself, the root of all remembrance. Creation is the record of mine ever-changing manifestation. All things bear the imprint of the history of the universe. Nothing of mine activity escapeth this record. In it do men share, because they, too, are parts of the stream of mine inferior nature. Thus are they partakers in my perfect recollection, which is the source of all memories, and the root of all the wisdom of mankind. All wisdom, therefore, is summed up in knowledge of me. To gain this is the aim of all research, of all works, of all devotion. From knowledge of me cometh the lesser knowledge of the things which I have brought forth. Of no avail is this lesser knowledge unless it be founded upon the knowledge of my superior and inferior natures. Hence it is written, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, and thy days shall be long. To keep me in vivid remembrance is to unite thyself to the subtle principle of life eternal. Mine inferior nature is the bond of union between myself and all created beings. Hence it is likened to Gimel, the camel, which bringeth a man safe through desert waste from city to city. Again it is likened to Gimel, because the camel beareth rich and costly merchandise, and again, for that the camel betokeneth travel and communication, being thus a symbol of change, and of the flux and mingling of ideas, borne upon the stream of memory. Happy is he who bestrideth this camel of mine inferior nature, which bringeth them who learn the secret of its mastery unto me, their Lord. A task most difficult and laborious is the conquest of the power of recollection. Strength and courage and patience must they have. Who would gain this victory? But these shall be as kings and princes in the world, and even as gods in the world to come. Comment on Gimel. Gimel, pronounced Gimel, hard, G, transcribed as G, the number 3, meaning camel, the uniting intelligence. On the tree of life, the path of the letter Gimel joins Kether to Tif-Erith, but in the meditation, Gimel is referred correctly to Chokmah, the second Sephra, because the letter name Gimel, GML, adds up to 73, and this is the value of the noun Chokmah, Chokmah, CHKMH, wisdom. There are even profounder reasons for the identification of Gimel and Chokmah, which cannot be included in this brief commentary. The quotation is from the Emerald Tablet, supposed to have been written by Hermes Trismegistus, and is one of the evidences that our author is one of the later Kabbalists in the Kabbalah. The direction below is attributed to Gimel and above to Be'eth. Philosophically, they refer to the superior and inferior natures of the one life, as described in the Meditations. The doctrine here is so closely allied to that of the Bhagavad Gita as to suggest that our author may have met one of the wandering Hindu philosophers. Compare the words of this paragraph with the symbols of Ketu, the high priestess. The phrase, whose purity naught can defile, means that no matter how many the forms developed from it, the virgin substance is itself unchanged. Like water which holds matter in suspension or solution, this substance remains ever itself. Here is one key to the alchemical mystery of the first matter. Here, too, one may find a clue to the inner significance of the virgin myths of all religions. The Empress, number 3. The meditation on Dalith. I am the door of life, the passage from the world of ideas into the world of form. Expressing myself, I take form and substance. But the power which worketh in that substance is the sovereign force of mine outflowing ideas. Consider well, O Israel, the knowledge of me which thou hast in the sacred letters, for with them, even as it is written, hath the universe been created. In Aleph, I present myself as the source of life eternal, self-dedicated to bearing the heavy burden of creation. In Be'eth, thou seest me as the primal will, which fixing beforehand the boundaries of the universe, maketh mine own being. The dwelling place of all creatures, as it is written, Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations, before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world. In Gimel appeareth my perfect wisdom, which uniteth all seeming contraries, and establisheth throughout creation the balance of wearing forces. Now as Dalith, I present myself as the portal, through which life eternal and unbounded entereth the realm of temporal and limited creation. The great door is Bina, and Bina is Aima, the fruitful mother of all living. She is the desirable one, the precious thing, more to be sought after than rubies and fine gold. She is both father and mother, for her fruitfulness cometh from the yod of the supernal wisdom. She is the thought which spinneth the plan of existence, that web of manifestation which entangleth the minds of fools, and giveth understanding to the wise, who know the secret of its mystery. In her is concealed the plenitude of tetragrammaton, and hidden in the door of perplexity is the Son, who is from all and among all. This is the gateway of life and form, yet through it come also death and conflict, even as it is shown in the numbering of Dalith, for DL DLTH being 434 is also 11, and 11 is the half or division of 22, which represented the whole circle of creation. Therefore is the door a cause of separation, and of the setting of one part against another. And for this is it written that the Lord is a man of war. For in this saying is DLTH, Dalith, concealed. I am the knowledge of the wise, and in me the ignorance of the foolish hath its roots. From me cometh forth all conditions, the evil as well as the good. Without the setting of metus and bounds, there is no bringing forth. Thus there can be no creation without seeming evil. Creation hath its origin in life unlimited, yet for the sake of manifestation doth that life descend into the appearance of time and place. And that which hath neither end nor beginning appeareth to be born, and to be brought at last to death. Deluded by this appearance are those ignorant ones in whom the light of my wisdom hath not yet dawned. From their delusion springeth a false desire, and from the false desire is generated unrighteous action. Yet nothing is performed save by my power, and I am the real actor in these deluded ones, as truly as in any sage, from the fires of pain and suffering kindled by their ignorance. In my good time shall they come forth, cleansed from the dross of illusion, resplendent images of my golden self. My creative power is the projection of myself, and that produceth the semblance of another. But know, O Israel, that besides me there is none other. I only am the knower and the actor, the one I am, whether alone and unmanifest, or appearing in the multiplicity of created things. The primal force of mine ideas dwelleth continually in Atz-Iluth. Thence it floweth forth into three lower worlds, through the door of understanding, as it is written, by understanding hath he established the heavens. I am the fruitful womb, whence all creatures have their birth. I am the mother of mothers. Hence it is commanded, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. For I, who am thy father and thy mother also, and if thou honorest me, the giver of life, then shalt thou triumph at the last even over death. Comment on Dalith. Dalith, pronounced Da-Lith, transcribed as D, the number 4, meaning door, the luminous intelligence. Dalith is the sign of the combined action of Kether and Chokmah, or 1 and 2, expressed in 3. Thus, the ancient Hebrew character for Dalith was a triangle. Although the value of the letter is 4, the values of the letters apparently conflict with the numbers of the Sephiroth and with those of the tarot keys to which the letters are assigned. But 1 in the alphabet is the original 1, without a second. In our numerals, this absolute unity is expressed by the sign 0. Our figure 1 stands for the first emanation, which implies the duad and also the triad. Kether 1 is Baeth, the house of Ensaf-Ar, and Baeth is 2 in the alphabet, but Baeth is also assigned to the magician, or 1, which is the first of the tarot sequence because 0, the Fool, symbol of pure spirit, and the no number really precedes the idea of relative unity represented by 1. Yet the no number, or 0, also follows every number, just as the Hindus say that either or Akasha intervenes between each two manifested elements. The logical place for 0 in a definite series is before 1, but it is also the reality manifested as 1, or as any other number, and that which may be thought of as subsisting between any two consecutive numbers. Even in common parlance, this is true. If we ask what comes between 1 and 2, the correct answer is, of course, nothing. The idea that the universe is created with the letters of the alphabet is a commonplace of Kabbalistic doctrine. It is found also in Hindu teaching. See The Serpent Power and Shakti and Shakta by Arthur Avalon. What is meant is that the powers designated by the letters are the building forces of the cosmos. Binah, understanding, is named Aima, the mother. In the paragraph, she is called the desirable one, or the precious thing, because the number of the word Aima, A-I-M-A, is 52, and this is also the number of the noun chmd, C-H-M-D, kamad, which means something desirable, an object of delight. The Sephra Binah is both father and mother, because 1, the word Aima, A-I-M-A, is formed from another noun, Ama, A-M-A, signifying the dark, sterile mother. By the interpolation of the letter Yod, I, between the first and second letters of AMA, Yod is called the paternal letter, not only because its name, the hand, is a euphemism for the phallus, but also because it is a characteristic letter of the Sephra, Chokmah, in Kabbalistic philosophy, and Chokmah is named Ab, A-B, the father. Aima, A-I-M-A, is the number 52, and this is the value of the particular divine name associated with fatherhood. When the name is written in its plenitude, that is, with the full letter names instead of single letters, thus IVD, HH, VV, HH. This also explains the meaning of the line, in her is concealed the plenitude of tetragrammaton, for tetragrammaton is the Kabbalistic designation of the four-letter divine name IHVH. Door of perplexity refers to the letter name Daleth, signifying door. Perplexity because to Daleth, Kabbalists attribute the pair of opposites, wisdom and folly. It is said that the sun is hidden in her because the value of the noun, bien, ben, sun, is 52, the same as the number of Aima, A-I-M-A. And again, since Daleth is her identified with Binah, the text refers also to the Kabbalistic doctrine that in Binah are concealed both the Father and the Son, because Binah is spelled B-I-N-H, so that this noun contains Yod, I, the letter of the Father, He, H-E-E, H-E-H, H, the letter of the Mother, and B-N, Ben, the name of the Son. Adding the digits of 434 gives us 11. In the Kabbalah, the number 22 represents the whole circle of creation because it is the number of letters in the alphabet. Thus, the Book of Formation says, 22 basal letters. He designed them, he formed them, he purified them, he weighed them, and he exchanged them, each one with all. He formed by means of them the whole creation and everything that should be created subsequently. Book of Formation 1, 2. Stenrings' translation, hence DLTH 434, is held by our Father to be a symbol of division, just as a door divides what is outside a house from what is within, because 434 digits to 11, the half of 22. The letter name DLTH is concealed in the saying, the Lord is a man of war, because the Hebrew for man of war used in Exodus chapter 15, verse 3 is Ish Milchama, AISHMLCHMH, which has the value of 434, the same as the letter name. Atizaluth is the highest of the four Kabbalistic worlds. It is the archetypal world, practically the same as Plato's world of ideas. Below it is Bria, the creative world, or world of mental patterns. Below Bria is Yetzirah, the world of formation or plane of invisible forces. The fourth and the lowest plane is Asaya, the material world or world of action and things. The Emperor, number 4. The meditation on He. In whatsoever object thou perceivest, know me as the essence, as the idea, and as the interior nature. Because of this, the wise come easily to me by many paths, yet in truth these different roads are but a single way. If thou canst penetrate into the nature of the simplest thing, there thou shalt find me. This is the key to the mystery of the sacred letters. Fix thy mind on the object set before thee by any letter, and hold thy that thought to meditate thereon. Then shall the inner nature of that object be made known to thee. And by this means shalt thou draw nigh to some aspect of my being. Consider then the secret meaning of the letter He, H-E-H. For even as I am the essence and idea and interior nature of every ox, of every house, of every camel, and of every door, so am I also the essence and idea and interior nature of every window. If thou set thy mind to meditate upon the interior nature of a window, thou shalt readily perceive that every window hath somewhat the nature of a door, inasmuch as it is an opening in the wall of a house. The house is Kether, the crown of primal will, and the door is Binah, the gate of understanding. And as the thought of the door is from the building of the house, so is the thought of the window from the fashioning of the door. Hence those instructed in the secret wisdom declare that chest, the path of beneficence, proceedeth from Binah, the gate of understanding, even as the idea of the window proceedeth from the idea of the door. For I am merciful because mine understanding compasseth the secret nature of all things, and my loving kindness is the fruit of my discrimination. Again, a window is set in the wall of a house, even as the eye is set in the head, that they who dwell within might look abroad to see what passeth without. Hence it is written in the book of formation that the letter He, H-E-H, correspondeth unto the faculty of sight. This referreth to my power of vision, which is not as thine, since nothing escapeth it, and all things appear unto it in their true aspect. It is written, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. And because I, the dweller in the house of the supernal will, see all things as they really are, my vision hath no taint or false judgment. Seeing I understand, and because nothing is hid from me, therefore I am merciful. But the path of my mercy is a way concealed from the profane, because I have not attained unto my perfect vision. Easier to follow is the flight of an eagle, for my way soareth high above the comprehension of the mind of man. As it is written, lo, he goeth by me, and I see him not. He passeth on also, and I perceive him not. Yet is the secret of that way hidden in thy bosom, O Israel. For my way is the way of the word, and the word is hidden in thy heart. For this is the word creative, which calleth all things into being. Here is a mystery, for the letter He, H-E-H, concealeth the word, and the word is as truly a vision as it is a voice. With me there is no difference between speech and sight. In very truth I utter myself by seeing. Unto the uninstructed, the coming forth of the creative word is as a mist and a vapor. For existence as is a veil of concealment, which hiddeth my true nature from their eyes. Hidden and imperceptible is the essence of my being, which sages call concealed with all concealments. By day, when thy senses busy themselves with their appropriate objects, if thou seest me at all, shall I be unto thee even as to thy forefathers, not by a pillar of cloud, vague and uncertain, going before thee, but at night, when thou hast withdrawn thy senses into themselves, and thy mind is no longer swept away by the multiplicity of objects, thou shalt perceive me more clearly as a pillar of living fire. Behold, it shall be well with thee if thou canst understand the same, and if thou knowest what is day and what is night. None hath seen me face to face, for I am the forerunner of all. Thus, O Israel, am I ever before thee on the way of life. And to all mankind it is said, even as to Moses, thou shalt see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. No matter how far thou goest, I have already passed that way. Thou shalt never see me as I am. But thou mayest know me in what I have done, the wise discover me in my works. No man perceiveth me as father, until as mother I have brought forth creatures. The following of Hih after Dalith in the alphabet is a sign and symbol of this truth. Even as Aima, the mother, concealeth the Yod of Ab, the father, so doth Hih, though the wise call it the mother wherewith creation took place, conceal that same paternal Yod, since Hih in its plenitude is the number 10, therefore the letter Hih belongeth to my paternal mercy. Since in the number 4, which appertaineth unto chest mercy, is the number 10 concealed, even as it is hidden in the word window, and in that exhaustless mercy lie hid the riches of the kingdom, for the decade is the kingdom, and the decade is hidden in chest. Regard me therefore as the paternal Yod, which imparteth life to the whole creation, not made with hands, but begotten is this universe of which thou art at once a part and the whole. Of mine own substance are all things made, and I give myself freely to everyone. They know me truly who see that it is my nature to bring forth and to originate. This whole universe is an expression of my primal will to yield fruit. Even as in Genesis thou mayest read that light was the first creation, so hath it been known since the beginning by the wise. They worship me with wisdom, who turn their faces toward the east, for the shining of the dawn is a type of all my works. This whole creation is the irradiation of the limitless light which I am. But never shall mere man attain to the source, that divine illumination. None may grasp me, and to those who seek to capture me in the net of thought, I am the eternal fugitive. Yet though I elude pursuit, I am the source and support even of the pursuers. I am in truth the food of all beings. The bread thou eatest is my body, the wine thou drinkest is my blood. For because creation took place with the letter Hih, that letter is the ground of all created existence, the stuff from which every form is built, the supply for every need. All this am I, therefore thou none may capture me in the net of thought. He shall speak truly who shall say, laying his hand on anything soever, whether men prize it or scorn it as of no worth. Dost ask me to show thee the Lord? Verily, in this shalt thou find him, if thou hast eyes to see. Comment on Heh. Heh, pronounced Hey. Transcribed as H, the number 5, meaning window. The constituting intelligence. The first 2 sections of this meditation state the fundamental premise upon which is based the Kabbalistic practice of meditation. The third section establishes the correspondence between He, the window, and Delith, the door, as being of the same nature as that between chest, mercy, and Bina, understanding. The fourth section is an elaboration of the Kabbalistic attribution of the sense of sight to the letter He. In this section are two examples of gematria, both in the phrase my way soareth high. In Hebrew, dawa, D-A-H, means to fly, to soar, and Gaba, G-B-H, means high or soaring. The numeral value of each word is 10, which is also the value of the letter name He, H-H. Another example of gematria comes in a later phrase of section 5 for hidden in my bosom, is evidently based on the numeral identity between Chob, CHB, hiding place, bosom, and the letter name He, HH. He concealeth the word. The value of the letter name is 10, which reduces to 1 the number of Aleph, and Aleph stands for the creative word, the divine name, IHVH, which calls all things into being. The phrase I utter myself by seeing, based on the attribution of sight to He, means that the universe is called into manifestation by the self-contemplation of spirit, a mist and a vapor. The Hebrew noun ad, has the numeral value 5, the same as the single letter He, and means fog, mist. He is called the mother wherewith creation took place, because H is the second letter of the tetragrammaton IHVH, and this second letter is attributed to Bina, which is Aima, the mother. He conceals Yod, because the letter name He, HH, has a value 10, the number of the letter Yod. 10 is concealed in 4, the number of the Sephra, chest, because 4 implies the pre-existence of 1, 2, and 3, so that it may be taken as representing 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, or 10. Here the Kabbalah agrees with Pythagorean number occultism when chest is considered to be the number 4, the riches of the kingdom lie concealed therein, because 10 is the number of the Sephra, Makuth, the kingdom. The phrase to yield fruit, which sums up this section, is another example of gematria. The Hebrew is abab, A-B-B, to blossom, to bear fruit. And the numeral value of this word is 5, the same as that of the letter H. Who turn their faces to the east, and what follows refers to the attribution of the direction east to the letter Daleth, which precedes He in the alphabet. Eternal fugitive is from the proper name Agi, A-G-A, fugitive, probably derived from the Arabic. Its numeral value is 5, the same as the letter H. Food in Hebrew is bag, BG, a word derived from the Persian. Its numeral value also is 5.